Hi friends, this is Meg at Chasing Retro. I have a collective haul to share today. This past weekend I went to an estate sale, I went to an antique store, and I also had a Facebook Marketplace pickup. So I will show you what I found on these three. This may be a little bit of a longer video. If it ends up being too long, I'll probably split it into two. But it's a lot of little things. So if you are interested in watching all the little details, stick around. I hope that you will enjoy seeing, as I see some of the things for the first time, mainly the Facebook Marketplace haul. But yeah, let's get started. The first thing, I'll show you what I found at the estate sale. It wasn't really a great estate sale price-wise, so I had to kind of hunt around for things that I would use that I wanted to pay what they were asking. But in one of the closets, not priced, I found this. I've been wanting one of these for a long time and didn't want to pay what people were charging. You know, normally when you see these being sold, they're not cheap. I think they were mainly exclusively given out to decorators. I know my mother-in-law has some of these, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get this apart. It's not a screw. I'm not sure how this is attached, but I'm gonna let my husband and son figure this out. But when she saw it, she said, "Oh, okay, you want to buy that?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "How about $2?" And I said, "Let's do it." So I have a lot of paint chips to use. They're not as wide as some of the other ones are that I like to make tags out of, but these will make two shorter tags and still be very, very, very cute. You could also use them as belly bands. Also, at this estate sale, they had a lot of dolls, and I'm not a huge doll person, but there's something about tiny dolls that I just can't pass up. So I found this little girl. This is Annie. I used to have this same doll as a child, and I do not know what happened to her. I'm assuming I played with her until she fell apart. But I remember my parents going to the mall and buying her for me immediately after I saw the movie, because I loved the movie so much. I don't remember her shoes being blue, but maybe they were. She looks very unplayed with. She still has her socks and her shoes. And if you can see, she has little freckles and everything. The only thing I wish they had was the Sandy, because I think you could buy the Sandy separately. But she will be going on my shelf of favorite things, so I can look at her every day. I also found this little baby. I had forgotten that I had this same baby growing up. It was half price, so it was $2 for this. This baby was made by Russ, and I didn't know that, because the first thing when I was a kid I would do is take the stickers off when I got a new thing. But evidently it was made by Russ, and she's porcelain. I remember that very well. Her legs and arms are porcelain. She's the perfect size for a baby for Barbie, so I used her as a Barbie baby for many, many years. And then she has this little nightgown. I also used to use some plastic babies by the toy company. I think it's based out of Hong Kong, Bandai. If I can remember the name of them. Anyway, not important, but I'm on the lookout for those as well, because the ones that I do have are very, very played with, and I would love to have some in their original condition to put in my curio box. I have a glass and brass curio box that I like to put little things like this. I found this set of drawing books or painting books. This lady who lived in this house was an artist, evidently a pretty renowned artist, because she had business cards and she had multiple prints of things that she had been printing and having ready for selling at shows. But all of her artwork was more than I wanted to pay. I did get some inspiration though. I loved her use of color. She loved to paint flowers. And so they did have a lot of art and painting instruction books. And most of them were modern, but I did keep digging and found some that were vintage. I believe these are all published by Walter Foster. And let's see, are these all the same artists? Who didn't know? So this is Maxine Runchi and this is Lola Aids. But they are very, very retro. I bought them not only because I thought maybe some of them may be frame worthy. I mean, you could mat this and frame this and it would look like an actual print. But some of these smaller ones would make adorable journaling cards. Look at these, the colors. This is the style of art that I love best. When I go thrifting or whatever, if I see anything like this, painted like this, 60s and 70s, lots of cats. She had a lot of cat paintings in the house. I just love it. Look at this. Even this would be a beautiful page in a journal. Tissue box holder. Birds, NutraSweet as a bookmark. Look at that. Magnolias. So these were all, this one has paint splattered on it. That's funny. These were all $2 because, sorry, $1 because they were $2 originally and they let me have them for half price because it was the second day of the sale. I won't flip through every single page, but just in case you are looking for art like this to use in your home or in a journal, the name of the publisher for these is Walter T. Foster Art Books. Very much worth looking out for these. This one is called The Family Album, so it's a lot of portraiture and very retro, very mid-mod. Very pretty. Look at that bride. Evidently, this publisher had a lot of art books. That's cool. There's a piece of construction paper. Oh, this one is not Walter. I thought all of them were. This is Skylight Studio. Keys to Floral Painting. This looks more 70s to me. 72. But still, the artwork and the graphics are just so very pretty. Look at that. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that like we see on greeting cards that we're just clamoring to have in our stash. And it's a whole book of it. The pages are shiny, so if that's not your thing, you may want to not look for these books, but I really don't mind shiny pages. That would be pretty framed. Okay, this one is Landscapes and Seascapes. These are a good bit bigger than the others, but still usable. They would actually make pretty small wraps for journal covers. Wouldn't that be cool to wrap around and use this as the paper for a journal cover? Oh my goodness, if there's one thing I love is the painting of moving water. I think if you can paint that, then you know what you're doing, because I feel like that's probably the hardest thing to paint, even more than clouds. Very pretty. This one is Faces and Features. This one is Butterflies and Moths. Very nice. Huge pictures in here. This one is Roses and Other Flowers. Gorgeous, right? I mean, absolutely eye candy. I would put one of these in a frame in my room. Now, some of them have paint on them. This looks like she had a paint tray laying on top of here, but that's fine. It just adds character. Flowers and Still Life. Just stunning. This one is a little more cubism looking, or like geometric looking. Look at that. This is 80s, if I've ever seen it. These are all the counties in our state. Interesting. The Many Faces of South Carolina. And what is this on the back? It's a jewelry store ad. I remember this jewelry store. This will have to go in my vintage retail journal because I don't think I have any jewelry ads. Awesome. Free ephemera. Yeah, so those were the books that I found. Let me know if you guys think they were worth $1 each. I think they were. All right, now to the Facebook Marketplace. This was a lady that I found on Facebook Marketplace that was closing up her home sewing business. I believe she also had an Etsy shop, and I'm not sure what she made. She mentioned purses. I'm not sure what else, but she had a bunch of trim. She said some of it was vintage, most of it was new, but when I saw the colored eyelet, I knew I had to have this box. So let's go through it. We have some pink eyelet, which is extremely timely for the spring journals that I'm working on. Look at that. Lovely baby pink. I don't think I have any pink. I have peach and light blue and lavender, but I have no pink eyelet. And this is some large hole eyelet, which I also love. I have just cleaned up my workspace, and I can see now that I'm about to make another big mess. I'm just throwing stuff down. I need to put all of these on cards and organize them by color. So look at this. This looks like the stretchy. Yeah, it's the stretchy stuff. I don't really know what it's called. Just elastic ruffle ribbon maybe. But look, it's gingham. Is that not the sweetest little thing? There's pink and there's lime green. And then this is not stretchy. This is a gathered Grosgain, like in a mint. Oh, look at this blue. Pink trim, pink edged sheer. This is so cute. This would be perfect for baby journals or spring. Look at this funky rickrack. I've never seen any like this before. This is glitzy. Okay, fun. Oops. This is beautiful. It's the kind, I'm not really sure what you call it, but it's the lace that just has flowers that go like a scalloped floral almost, and it's still on the bolt. Here is some peach. This is seam binding. Some more white eyelet. They look like smiley faces. Look at this. Oh my goodness, look how cute. This looks vintage. Ooh, this is very unique. There's a pen. Don't want to hurt myself on this. Look at this. It's very Art Deco looking, I think. Love that. This I don't use, but I think my mother-in-law does. It's like the pillow cording, I think. So I might see if she would like to have that. I usually give my cast-offs to her if it looks like home decor related. I'll throw that over there for her. Little piece of this beautiful, very shiny trim. This looks like something you would make like a dance costume out of. Very cool though. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It looks like it was to go on a pillow or something. Look at that. Beautiful colors. Very unique. Oops, that was on a card. Beautiful, antique looking. It's probably not, but just very vintage. I can wind this up later. Very lovely though. Some crochet. This tiny little off-white trim. A whole bunch of white eyelet. A blank bolt, which will be nice to have to wrap more stuff around. It looks like she's used these as cards for wrapping around, and that is brilliant. I will use those for the same thing. Some very long, very flexible, soft lace. I love that. A very large bolt of very 80s looking 8 1/4 yards. That's a lot. Trim. I wonder if, so we have something called the Jockey Lot near us, which is like a flea market that's been around since, I don't know, the 70s. And there was this place, there were, you know, temporary sellers and there were permanent stores in there. And I remember there was one that sold just lace and trim. I wonder if she shopped there, because this kind of looks like stuff that you would find. Well, you know what though? Look at that Piece Good Shop. That's really cheap per yard. Those were the days, man, when the prices were under $2 for things by the yard. Okay, oh my goodness, y'all, look at this. That's pretty, but look at this. I did not mean to hit this. Look at this. I don't have anything like this. Stunning. Oh my word. There's a blue like this too. There is so much on here. It says 10 cents. I wonder if this is obviously very vintage and a very vintage price. Look at that. I may have to put some of this in my shop. Wow. I mean, absolutely beautiful. I'm speechless right now. I did not see that in the pictures, the preview pics. I feel like I hit the jackpot with these. So pretty. I love this kind of rickrack. I don't know if that's what this is called, but it's so 70s looking. And some flat eyelet, which is always nice. You don't always want the ruffly stuff. Ooh, this is very unique. Look at that. And then some tiny filigree silver trim. Here is some more crochet. I don't have anything like this in my stash at all. Crochet trim on cotton, on a cotton bias, whatever, seam. And another one of these bolts. Piece Good Shop. Oh, I would give anything to go back in a Piece Good Shop. Look at that. That is lovely. It's like Starburst. Very wide lace, which is great for interior pockets when I make fabric journals. I was getting low on that actually. Look at this. Oh, how nice. I love that. So versatile. Here is some trim, the lace with the ribbon woven through in a white and ivory combo. And then we just have little snippets here of a few things. That's interesting. Look at this, pretty. Here's some wide seam binding in a lace, like a aqua lace. Here's some still in the pack with like a light pink. And then, oh, look, some DMC floss. Those are pretty spring colors. I have a little bucket of this next to me, and I use them for wrapping around little miniature sewings, like a swatch spool, if you will, for my sewing journals. There's a straight pin. Let me grab that so I won't drop that in the floor. This is like some sort of a chiffon, and then a little scrap of fabric. All right. I've got one more box from this seller. It's actually a bag. And this is just a mishmash of a bunch of other things that she thought I might like. So I made a point of sale purchase while I was picking up this box I just showed you. Some more of this baby trim. Pastel, rather. I guess it could be spring. This kind of stuff is what my mother-in-law uses for edging pillows and such. Some more of this stretchy, shiny fabric. Some more braided cord. Oh, I've got strings everywhere. Oh my goodness, look how sweet. We have some brown yarn. I'm not going to show you everything because there's a lot of just little pieces of ribbon down here. Here's some braided cord still with a little price on it. And more. Some black. Oh, that's funny. I think I have this same trim already. This one. And then some braided cord. I have some of this too, and I love it, but I don't have it in this color. Very interesting. It looks like a bumblebee. Oh, I am loving this. It's like a frisé type red, a beautiful red. Oh my goodness, that is lovely. And then there's things in here like this, these little flowers that you can cut apart and use as embellishments. More cord. Here's some faux fur. It looks like sheep, like something for a sheep. Just little strips of ribbon like this that I can put in my, I think I had the wrong side. I can put in my little bag of ribbon to use on tags. Oh, this says baby on it. Self-adhesive trim. I thought I saw a sticker back. How cute is this? I'm so sorry. I keep hitting the camera today. I have it lower than normal, I think. I have it so that I can make sure everything is in focus as I show it to you. This is very interesting. It looks like something that would have been on the trim of a long dress in the 70s. Or like the sleeves. Very interesting. Or maybe curtains. There is elastic in here. I don't think I will use that. I'll probably pass that along, re-gift it, re-thrift it. because there is a lot of elastic, and I know elastic is not cheap. Oh, look at this. It says 10 yards of mauve, $2. I don't know what it is. Let's see. I don't want to pull it apart completely. It's just like a, maybe it's for gathering because it has that channel. But I'll find a creative way to use this. It's a lovely color. We have some curl ribbon for gifts, which I can always use for presents and such. We have some organza roses with rhinestone centers. A giant thing of yarn, and you know what? This kind of stuff, my husband is always coming in here asking me for string. I'm gonna give this to him because he does creative workshops at work, and he'll use string for, I don't really know what he uses it for. I guess I should ask, but I'm gonna put this on his desk so he will have his own ball of string to use in his workshops. That's really fun. I think I have some similar to that. Here's some more of that baby trim. It's wrapped up with something else. Never seen anything like that before. That's cool. Some random quilt binding. Let's see. Grab bag. It looks like GIMP trim in here. Yeah, different colors of GIMP trim. This is interesting. It looks like it was cut off of a piece of clothing. It looks like, ooh, you know what I'm thinking? When I see this, I think skirt. I wonder if I could overlay this on top of a sewing pattern lady and create like a 3D effect. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Oh man, this, do y'all remember this stuff? I think it's called lame. Whenever my mom would get something like this for something she had to make for like a military ball or something, she would give me the leftovers, and you could tell it was the 80s. And I would make capes for Barbie and all kinds of stuff. Here's a beautiful piece of satin. Look at this. It's like textured silver sprinkles or something. That would be cool. So I'm gonna make some really 80s journals this year at some point. That would be cool for that. Okay, just randomly tossed in here is a segment of embroidery. Maybe a dress or scarf of some sort. Chair cover. Very pretty though. This looks like something she would have sold at a craft fair. It's a little plastic spoon and fork. And I'm assuming this is like a little burp pad. Something for baby. I'll have to unwrap that and see what it is. Stickers. Don't y'all just love grab bags like this though? I do. I think grab bags are the most fun. Here's some farm ribbon, and this looks vintage. Some small florals and then bold florals. Lots of those little baby packages. Oh wow, look, a lot more of this and much longer lengths. That is very unique and creative. We have some random ribbon on spools, which is always great to put in my ribbon bucket for my tassels. This looks like embroidery machine thread, so my machine will not take this. I'll probably donate this. Here is a panel with some cats, maybe some pillow panels. Let's see, with some cats on them. Cute. There's a little tuxedo. Oh wow, there's a lot more of this lame. This is gonna be fun when I make my 80s journals. Oh, that'll be fun. Another embroidered piece. This one's pretty. Oh, this is a pillowcase. Cool. Or a sham. No, I think it's a pillowcase. Very nice. Here is a mega grab bag. I'm not going to open it, but it is tons of stuff. Beaded trim, fringe trim, sequins, bead trim. Wow. That's fun. Some little bows. Some more of these little flowers. Lots more of this type of fabric, but in blue. Oh my goodness. Woo, if you're watching, I think I need to put one of these in our swap journals. How cute. I think that's pretty much it that's unique to show you guys. Thank you for being patient with me as I dug through this. One more thing, another one of those channel trims. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing. I wonder where she bought these things because they look like they were, I don't know. I'm just very interested in the backstories of everything. Okay, the last thing to show you guys is the antique store finds. By far, I spent the most money at the antique store, but it was one that I have been wanting to try. It actually is near Hendersonville, North Carolina. I have not been up there in over a year. It's near where all the flooding was starting to get real bad. But yeah, it's a new to me antique store under recently new ownership, and it was very impressive. It was very well organized, and the music was great. I mean, it's the little things, you know. All right, so I found this tray. You know, guys, I am a sucker for vintage metal trays. I use them for crafting, for organizing my things, but I also have a plate hanger that I have on a command hook on the tile above my stove, and I switched the tray out for the season. So right now I have, right now I have something for January, but I'm about to switch to my spring tray, and then in the summer I like to decorate with the 80s geese. So this will be hanging up above my stove this summer. In the meantime, I'll use it for crafting. I bought this pillowcase. I have seen this sheet material before, but never owned any of it. Evidently, somebody decided to get creative and add some decorative stitching with their sewing machine. But I bought this for journal purposes. I will not be putting this, as much as I love this, it's a little bit too orange for my bedroom. I have vintage sheets that we use in there, and a lot of vintage pillowcases that don't match, but I try to stick with reds, turquoises, pinks, and yellows. So this was just a little bit too bold for our bedroom, but I will be using this for journal purposes for sure. All right, this was what I spent the most money on right here, and I will never use all these, so some of these will be going to my shop. If you're interested, please be looking in the next week or so. I'll try to list some. I bought a bag of 100 assembled quilt squares. They're actually quilt decagons or whatever, but they look like they are made with actual vintage fabric. Whether or not it's feed sack, I don't know. If you're a feed sack expert, Angela, I'm talking to you. Let me know if these look like feed sack. Maybe they're just feed sack replicas. I don't know. But I decided that it was worth investing in these because I will be using some, but also selling some in my shop, because I know these are not often come by. Even if we found a quilt like this, it's really hard for all of us, I think, to cut up a quilt if it's in good working order. So the best of all these circumstances would be to find it like this, where it was all the hard work is done, it just hasn't been stitched together. So a variety of different color combos. There's some pinks, corals, bright yellow, sage greens. Absolutely just loveliness. I was so tickled when I saw this. I couldn't get it in my hands fast enough. There is some age spotting on here, but I'm not going to do anything to them. I'm not going to try to wash them or anything, because then I'll risk the threads coming out, and I might risk, I'll have to iron them. So I'm going to sell them as is, stains and all. But to me, I don't mind that. If I put it on a journal, I don't mind if it has some aging on it. So seriously amazed by this. It said there were 100 in there. I didn't count, but it looks about that. The last thing I got was some books. He did not take these off because he said he was afraid he would mar the cover, so I appreciated that. So I will use my little tricks to removing stickers. But some of you know that I have been slowly collecting Sesame Street items. I'd love to do a Sesame Street journal at some point this year. So when I find a little golden book that is, I consider under $4 a pretty good price. Anything over that, I probably won't buy it. And on eBay, you know, if you buy one for $3, but then you have to pay $4 to have it shipped to you, you're not really, unless you buy 10 of them, you're not really, it's downhill business, as my grandpa would say. So, yeah, I thought that was okay for the price. And then I do not have this one. I have seen other people with this one, and I wanted it. So, a Barbie one. So, I made a little golden book journal for my sister out of the Bialowski True Golden book, and she loves it. I guess she does. I guess she's still using it. But she grew up with Bialowski, and when I saw this, I was like, I have to have this. It's a little lift the flap book. Oh, somebody's written on them. That's funny. But yeah, no, that's part of the story. Okay. But yeah, it's just a little, when my son was little, he loved lift the flap books. So I need to decide if I'm going to have the heart to cut this one up and use it or not. It would have to be in a large journal because these pages are thick and I wouldn't want to fold them. But I think they're amazing. I think this is amazing. So excited about that. I could make a journal out of this whole thing and use the pages. Maybe I'll do that. I've never seen this little golden book, and I love how unprofessionally off-center it is. To me, that just makes it cuter. And so I thought I might make and there's a giraffe in here that plays the cello. I thought I might make a journal out of this, and you can tell it's an old one because of the back. Here's another Sesame Street one. I've been wanting to make a Color Kittens journal for myself for a long time, but the only copy I had was my childhood copy, and I'm not touching that one. So I was glad to find this one, even though it looks I don't know if this yellow striation is a part of the design. It may be because it looks like it's covering the whole thing and it's pretty evenly spaced and it's not on the back. So maybe that's the way this one looked, but this is one of the older copies of this one, maybe early 70s, maybe even before that. And then these were marked down to $1.50 because they were just shredded. The spines are gone, but I don't need the spines for junk journals, and I use the pages inside in other journals, so these were amazing for Sesame Street purposes. The texture of the paper is pretty cool, pretty great as well. This one is amazing. Every page is a different color. There's a pink one and a purple and green. I just thought this was so fun. And then I had this growing up. I had the whole set. My grandma would buy one every week at the grocery store. Do you guys remember that? And they gifted it to me as a Christmas present. It was all in a box together. But of course, I'm not going to cut up my childhood copy. So I bought this, and you guys, to this day, this is the only sugar cookie recipe I use. I found it. My copy is, you know, not easy to get to. I've kind of got it stored away in a box, but someone has scanned this and put it on Pinterest, and so whenever I make sugar cookies, I pull the image up. But I thought it might be fun to have this actual page to put in a personal journal of mine. So they had all of the encyclopedias there, but I just bought number 1 because that was the one with the recipe in it. All right, you guys, that was the collective haul. It's under an hour, which is what I was hoping for. I was going to stop it if it got to past 50. So I hope you guys enjoyed everything. Now I have a huge, huge mess to put away. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Talk to you soon.